the most broken economy on Earth. What if I told you that South Africa, often labeled as the most broken economy on Earth, holds a story of resilience, struggle, and the quest for a brighter future? In a country where unemployment rates soar and inequality runs deep, how can the spirit of its people and innovative solutions reshape this narrative? When it comes to the panorama of global economies, South Africa is one of the few countries that reflects the complexity of riches, poverty, and inequality as sharply as it does. In spite of the fact that it is one of the most developed economies on the continent, it is struggling with a great deal of difficulties, which has led many people to refer to it as a broken economy. This video explores the historical and contemporary reasons that have contributed to South Africa's economic challenges, the impact that these struggles have had on the people of South Africa, and the path that lies ahead for this nation that possesses a great deal of promise. The political environment of South Africa is inextricably connected with the country's economic history, particularly the legacy of apartheid, which was a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that lasted from 1948 until the early 1990s. The regime of apartheid concentrated economic resources and opportunities on the white minority, while at the same time systematically denying the black majority their right to vote. This resulted in a substantial wealth difference as well as ingrained inequities that continue to exist in the present day. There were high aspirations for economic transformation and social justice with the end of apartheid in 1994 and the establishment of a democratic government led by Nelson Mandela. Both of these events occurred simultaneously for South Africa. However, the transition has been riddled with difficulties, as the new administration has struggled to address the structural concerns and economic imbalances that were left behind by apartheid. What the current economic climate looks like. The persistently high unemployment rate. The high unemployment rate in South Africa, which is over 35%, is one of the most important concerns facing the country. There is an especially alarmingly high rate of youth unemployment, with statistics topping 60% among young individuals aged 15 to 24. Many people believe that the astronomical unemployment rate can be due to a lack of skills, educational shortcomings, and a labor market that has remained stagnant. The cycle of poverty that many young people in South Africa find themselves in is a contributing factor to feelings of disenfranchisement and exacerbates the social unrest that is already there. Poverty and the existence of inequality. It has been determined using the Gini coefficient that South Africa is one of the countries with the highest level of inequality in the world. Despite the fact that the country is home to an affluent elite, a sizable percentage of the population makes do with living in abject poverty. It is common to find people living in townships and informal settlements, and a significant number of them do not have access to fundamental amenities such as clean water, sanitation, or power. Disparities between those who are wealthy and those who are poor are a source of societal tensions and a factor that contributes to criminal activity and violent acts. Economic progression and stability in the economy. Over the past few years, South Africa's economic growth has been sluggish, and the country has been struggling to keep up with the rise of its population. There have been a number of factors that have impeded the development of the economy, including political instability, corruption, and a lack of confidence among investors. A number of important industries, including tourism, mining, and manufacturing, experienced contractions as a direct result of the COVID-19 epidemic, which made these problems much worse. Despite the fact that many firms are facing closures and individuals are having trouble making ends meet, the recovery from the epidemic is nevertheless moving at a rapid pace. Concerns regarding corruption and authority provision. In South Africa, the advancement of the economy has been significantly hampered by the presence of corruption. There has been a decline in public trust as a result of high-profile scandals that involve government officials and state-owned businesses. These scandals have also siphoned money away from important services. South Africa's governance is plagued by systemic problems, which have been brought to light by the infamous state capture affair. This controversy involves allegations that commercial interests impacted the decision-making process of the government. The current energy crisis. The fact that South Africa generates the majority of its electricity from coal has presented a number of critical issues. Eskom, a power firm that is owned by the state, has been experiencing financial issues and operational failures, which has resulted in rolling blackouts that are commonly referred to as load shedding. Businesses and everyday life are disrupted as a result of these power outages, which in turn reduces economic output and undermines investor confidence. There is a human cost associated with economic struggles. The people of South Africa are painfully aware of the implications that have resulted from the country's economic difficulties. There has been an upsurge in social unrest, protests, and criminal activity as a result of rising unemployment and poverty rates. Communities are frequently on edge, with tensions running high as a result of people's demands for improved living circumstances, availability of employment opportunities, and increased accountability from the government. Because of the discrepancies that exist within the education system, a significant number of pupils are not provided with the skills that are required for the job market. The cycle of poverty is perpetuated by schools in underprivileged communities that struggle to deliver quality education because they lack the resources necessary to do so. As a consequence of this, a significant number of young people are either unable to obtain employment or are completely absent from the labor field. Steps to take on the road to recovery. In spite of these extremely difficult obstacles, there are indications that South Africa can still be hopeful. The establishment of commissions and investigations into corrupt activities are two examples of the ongoing efforts that are being made to combat corruption and enhance governance respectively. When it comes to pushing for accountability and transparency in government, the critical role that civil society and community organizations play cannot be overstated. Currently, discussions are taking place regarding economic reforms with the goals of attracting investment and encouraging growth. The creation of jobs and the development of economic resilience can be facilitated by initiatives that encourage entrepreneurialism and provide support to small firms. In addition, contributing to a more sustainable economy and mitigating the consequences of the energy crisis can be accomplished by diversifying the energy industry and investing in renewable sources of energy. The importance of continuing one's education and developing personal skills. South Africa's economic revival is dependent on the country's ability to make investments in education and the development of skills. It is possible to break the cycle of poverty and empower the next generation by improving the quality of education, particularly in areas that are marginalized. Young people can be equipped with the skills necessary for the labor market through the implementation of programs that are geared toward vocational training and apprenticeship. These programs can assist bridge the gap between education and employment. The importance of support from international aid. South Africa's recovery may also be significantly aided by the formation of international relationships and the provision of support. When it comes to addressing urgent problems, working together with governments from other countries, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and international organizations can give resources and knowledge. Moreover, the promotion of chances for trade and investment can also drive economic growth and provide employment prospects. In spite of the fact that South Africa is confronted with serious economic issues, the country holds enormous potential. The resiliency of its people, in conjunction with measures to combat corruption, the improvement of governance, and the investment in education, has the potential to pave the road for a more promising future. South Africa is able to make progress toward a more equal and prosperous economy if it recognizes the importance of learning from its history and accepting innovative solutions. The notion that South Africa has the most broken economy on earth is not simply a reflection of the country's troubles. Rather, it is also a monument to the continual attempts that have been made to make a comeback from one's difficulties. Despite the fact that the path to recovery may be lengthy and filled with hurdles, South Africa has the potential to reimagine its economic future and emerge more robust from the difficulties it is confronted with if it is determined and takes collaborative effort. Don't miss out on our deep dive into the complexities of South Africa's economy. Subscribe now and join us on a journey through the challenges, innovations, and future potential of this fascinating country. Hit the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.